Welcome to Zero Gravity's podcast. I have my good friend Yi. He is the CEO and co-founder of Codatta. Could you give us a brief introduction into yourself and how it led you to founding Codatta?
Oh, sure. Thank you for having me here to introduce myself and our project. My name is Yi. Hello, everyone. My name is Yi. Actually, I get a PhD from University of Cincinnati. I went to Pinterest for doing recommendation system and online ads. After that, I was working for Alipay, managing product side and engineering, and also some of machine learning team. The reason we started Codatta is because based on my background, I was spending much of my time, roughly about 15 years in AI. We know AI actually needs the data to produce high-performing models. Given the foundational model progress, I think there is much more demand for frontier data. Actually need a human intelligence. The experts from some domain provide data to training or improving foundation model, particularly provide vertical AI. We see this a huge demand is growing, and we want to empower this type of innovation. And we also see the team of AI team will become smaller, and they do not have much money to purchase data. But I think there's a Web3 opportunity to share the revenue of the people. They utilize the data to build the AI and share revenue with data creator. I think that's the strongest motivation for us. We see the demand, and we know this type of AI and this business. That's the reason we want to meet the demand and build the project.
And then talk to us specifically about what the mission of Codatta is and some of the features there. Is it that there's a revenue share of data, or is it like getting these more niche data set models or data sets for companies?
Yeah. I think that's a perfect question. And alongside, you already provided some of answers. Only speaking, at a high level, our product is more like a marketplace. Collecting the data demander, more likely they are AI developers, or regarding this might be a big tech or startup or single founders team, or might be the design projects, they need the data. So that's the data demanders. We directly collect them to the data creator. Some of them maybe have some specialty in some domain, like doctors, like some of times legal lawyers. Also, sometimes we just provide some of the some tasks require people to do 20 minutes or 1 hour's training, make them capable of providing some of the data. So that's at high level, we are marketplace collecting the data demander to the data creator. And the difference we are providing is in comparison to traditional model like Scale AI. Scale AI upfront asking people to providing like a minimal contract, maybe $200,000. But we see maybe this is not good for the market efficiency, and we innovate maybe to allow the data creator and then the AI developer share risk of collaborating, but also they share the benefiting if the data turn out to be valuable to training some vertical AI, and the vertical AI commercialized successful, and the two collaborators, they can share the two ends of the collaborator can share revenue. Yeah, that's remove the barrier, share risk, and share the benefits. That's the spirit of Web3, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And you mentioned this term a few times, and I just want to define it for the audience. So you said vertical AI. What is vertical AI?
Oh, that's a very good question. We know the foundation model is quite powerful. It's generally, you can asking them any questions, they will try to give you answers. But they're quite fundamentally very powerful, but they put it this way, but they have some limitation. I don't know if people read the book, like Thinking Fast and Slow. The foundation model right now is more like a system fast or system one. It's very respond to people's question very fastly, but likely to make a mistake. And but what we are looking for is more like a dependable system. They can deliver solution and based on logic driven. There is a huge gap. The gap is the lack of the reasoning or lack of planning skills and also particular lacking of grounding and verification skill. Then grounding and verification is require the domain knowledge to help to address that type of issue. Then, and back to the fundamental question you're asking is a vertical AI. Vertical AI is based on the foundation model. We provide a particular solution. Maybe we provide the pathology AI to help doctors to diagnose this disease. That's one type of vertical AI. And also there are a lot of vertical AI is more like help people to design some architecture. So basically, vertical AI is built upon the foundational model and deliver particular domain-specific solution. Yeah, that's how we
Yeah.
define what is
Yeah. And
vertical AI.
the way I think about it is like somebody that went to university and took a bunch of different classes versus somebody that like really specifically went there and just studied computer science or like studied radiology or studied a very specific field. So if you ask that person that studied a very specific field, they're going to have a much more breadth of information. Whereas if you ask the generalist, yeah, you'll get an answer, but it just won't be as tailored. So talk to us a little bit about, let's imagine we have a company. Like what's a typical company that is looking for this kind of like data set to train their model, and then we can
Oh, okay.
expand upon that.
Yeah. That's a very good question. We see this current the boom of the current generative AI progress starting more like the near end of 2020. So we already embrace this progress over 2 years. But I think in the industry right now, sometimes they're anxious to see how the AI can turn to be profitable. And right now, foundation model is good, but the company they want to deliver value is more like I give you an example, like a Cursor, very popular, and GitHub also they have Copilot, coding Copilot. This type of companies they need the frontier data to deliver the coding capabilities. They maybe they need the data from coders to fix some bugs. Also, they can help them to analyze how they deliver some type of solution. So this is one type of companies, and also some of the company more like I think there is one company based in Austin. It's called Icon. They are providing the architecture, automated architecture AI. They from the automated design of architecture to the actually 3D printing the entire buildings. This type of company they need the actual architecture designer to help them to building the this type of give them a layout or give them a landscape. Ask the human experts to design the entire architecture, and there's unlimited number of the companies. If they want to deliver domain-specific solutions, one hand they have foundation model, other hand in order to provide this type of solution, they need a frontier data in the particular domain. So the number is huge.
Yeah. So let's take the example of like a Cursor AI or a Copilot. So for people that are unfamiliar, essentially these are tools that allow you to code faster. So you might be typing a for loop and it will finish the for loop for you. So talk to us a little bit. Imagine we're like Cursor AI or a company very similar to it that's looking to enrich our, we'll say, code completion model or code explaining model. Talk to us about how we would like go and use Codatta to improve that, like, and walk us through like
Oh,
the life cycle of a customer.
yeah. That's a fantastic question. Honestly speaking, I'm not expert for the building the cursor, but based on I would articulate the answer to your question in these two layers. First layer, let's talk about how to build a vertical AI application. Not just AI models, it's an entire application. This signal then after that we can walk through the journey of launching a data sourcing task on Codatta. The vertical AI actually, I think it is this is more like a two-step. The first step, you have to figure out what's the domain problem you want to address, what's the optimized workflow or UX experience, user experience to do that. I think at the beginning, let's give you an example. At the beginning, we see ChatGPT actually can help us to do some coding task very good. But until people experience the Cursor, they will say, oh, Cursor is way much better. The first impression, because the Cursor is based upon the VS Code, is embedded the entire workflow tailored toward the coders. So this UX experience is way better than generic ChatGPT chatbox. So that's the first step to deliver the vertical application is optimize the optimize the UX experience, integrate the traditional user workflow with AI native features. That's the first step. The second step, you have to figure out what's the foundational model doing good or bad, basically doing the error analysis. And you can, after error analysis, you can identify what type of particular data you want to sourcing, because sourcing data is very expensive in the past, at least in the past. But in the future, we want to remove this costly. But we are talking about the traditional model, right? That's how it works in the past. So they have to do the analysis error to identify what type of data they actually need. And normally, this is an iterative process. They will try and figure out, maybe they patch some of the reasoning, but thinking, okay, it's improved. But maybe they can figure out, okay, we need an additional layer of logic to enhance this type of labeling. So that's an iterative process. So let's wrap up. That's the first layer of the answer to your question is the workflow of building the UX for the building the vertical AI application. The second, talking about the user journey. At the Codatta, we have three terminology. One is the frontier creator, another is actually the data creator, and also there is a downstream is data actually consumer or data users. The frontier, why we have frontier? We think the data actually have multiple use case, and we combine some of similar collection of data together. We define them like frontier. So the data demander jumping our platform. What they will start is they will set up the data sourcing by define what type of data they are looking for, and also they have to define the basic tutorial to enable people be capable of providing the knowledge. And also they have to define the workflow of ensure data quality. This is two types of data. Sometimes ground truth, sometimes the opinion. The opinion, you normally, in order to improve the opinion, you have to ask multiple people to provide independent ideas. That's so workflow they have to optimize. After that, sometimes they can work with us to develop tooling for the people actually to sourcing the data. But sometimes also they can provide their own tooling to integrate with our API. That's another way. So after that, this type of basic preparation, they have to define what's the profile of data creator they want to provide data. Sometimes they have a specific geolocation. Sometimes they have education background requirements. But most of the time, they have utilize the quantification exam. People actually have to take tests to make sure they are capable to provide the quantity data. So that's a second step, define the scope or the targeting of audience to provide the data. After that, boom, take the button, launch the task. That's how it goes. Normally, if you have very good reputation, maybe you are Coinbase, we do not have any type of additional motivation or funding to motivate people. But sometimes you are just a developer with no background. Sometimes maybe you have to ingest $1,000 or $2,000 or $5,000 to make people want to kick off the campaign to help you to sourcing the initial batch of data. But after initial batch of data, you can prove, okay, with the data, I can improve the foundation model to this level for my particular particular problem. You share with the community, the people will jump on, and without any additional funding, they can just voluntarily work for you in order to get the long-run feedback, the reward. Yeah.
Yes, you mentioned a few features there, and a few I want to definitely talk about. So let's talk a little bit more about the reputation system and how you guys use it in order to maintain high quality information in the system. So you mentioned if there's someone like a Coinbase, like, hey, their reputation's very high. It actually kind of makes me think about like almost like a domain score if you're familiar with SEO. But talk to us a little bit about how you manage this reputation system.
Sure. I think also, yeah, the reputation actually from multiple category. First category is how well we know you, but it's optional because we have to trade off to dance the balance between the privacy and also this type of trustness. So normally people can optionally provide the linking or the email, and also they pass some of the trustable Web2 profile to provide to us to make sure we can understand you better. Particularly for the coders, if you want to provide the coding labeling, you have to prove you are actually a professional somehow, or you are capable of delivering this task. So the first category, how well we know you. The second category is more like based on the cover most weights actually is your past contribution. How good you what's the quantity and quantity of your past contribution? That's cover most weights. And also additionally, we have third category is staking. Uh, because people you are earning something, and sometimes your task we will downstream we can verify if it's good or bad, and if you want to earn additional reward by boosting your answers, you can stake in some of the economic points or other assets to make sure more trustable, but also you are at risk of being snatched if your answer prove it's not correct. Because this type of mechanism, people, based on our experiment, people become more responsible most of the time. Yeah, so that's some of category regarding how contribute to the reputation system.
And then if I'm a user looking to get data, do I go in there and do I select the specific data providers, or is it largely like category based? How does the selection process work for a person looking to build or like enrich their data set?
Yeah. That's a very good question. Actually, right now we have multiple frontier. One is account annotation, is basically the address labeling, empower anti-money laundering, and also crypto account, market analytics. So if this type of data, some of potential customers is more like Chainalysis. Actually, we have Chainalysis competitor already paying us for using this as a data. So some of this type of data is the cast clients already knowing which type of data they are looking for. So they are jumping to our platform, will scroll down all the data set are available. They will identify which particular data set look interesting for them. So generally, particular for big tech, they already have their mind what type of data they are looking for. So they straight to the point. Only the matter is whether we can provide that type of data. So they are very specific. Another type of this type of potential clients is more like the people, developer on Hugging Face. They have a bunch of idea and not sit down on a particular idea. They can explore our platform to think about, okay, what's the existing data available in our database. If they can leverage it to improve their some problems they want to work on. That's the other way. But the third way is more like they identify the developer, they have particular data they are looking for, but we do not have. They can launch this data sourcing task, asking the community to provide.
And yeah, and let's talk about the community providing. So let's imagine like, hey, they're in the general marketplace. We can't find the data set we need. Talk to us a little bit about how it works when we're asking the community to go out and source that particular type of data.
Yeah. And that's very fantastic. Let me double check. Let me ensure I get your question correctly. What
Yeah.
you're asking is if there is a new the data sourcing task, and some of the community might be not capable of answer that. How we reach out the community which out of the Codatta right now, is that the question or?
The question is, so provided, let's say, we talked about like chain analytics. So let's say there's a certain data set that's not already existing in the marketplace itself. Is there a
Mhm.
mechanism for which we can ask the community to say like, hey, we're actually looking for like this particular data set. We don't currently
Okay,
have it,
okay,
and
okay.
incentivize community members to get it?
Oh, yeah. Actually, this is situation particular we already addressed is more like the main feature of our platform. So anyone can launch a data sourcing task, and they can study the task and asking and then define what type of data they are looking for. Also, alongside they have to define what's the criteria to ensure the data is good or bad, and also they have workflow to improve the quantity over time. This is a particular user journey we already discussed. So that's a very typical use case for us. Yeah.
Perfect. And you mentioned there's staking involved. So talk to us a little bit about how like blockchain comes into play for the platform itself.
Oh yeah. There's a multiple way to contribute. The blockchain contribute to entire platform. Let me summarize multiple way. The first one is fundamentally we think the data is asset. That is, data themselves do not generate value, but the data actually can empower AI application. Even some of downstream science projects they can generate IP. So the data can generate revenue, generate value indirectly. So the data by themselves actually is asset. In order to make the asset value discover more efficiently, we want to transfer the data, then become an asset. So to tokenize it. So basically, we have to use the blockchain to tokenize the data asset to make sure it can be easily transferred and easily to be accessed and also easily. But I mean, access that doesn't mean it's totally transparent because data they have to be encrypted, ensure they will not resell or something. So we have to utilize blockchain to transfer the regular data into an asset, and it can be ensure the downstream some of the data exchange to do an auction to help us to price the data correctly. So that's one way we utilize the blockchain to transfer data into asset. Another way is more like some staking mechanism. That's economic mechanism. We utilize which more like a built-in features for the Web3 community, and that's play very effective role to help us to provide a very balanced experience. By with the balanced experience, I mean upfront we do not asking the user provide any type of evidence to ensure data quality. That's a good user experience. But because the staking place here there, and later on we have the opportunity to ask the user to provide some of evidence at a random probability and to ensure the data quality. So that's a good trade-off. So that's high level something. But most importantly, by the way, I already forget the key point. Because we are want to do the royalty model, is the data creator, the share revenue with the data demander. And ensure the royalty model plays very trustlessly, very trusted manner. We have to make sure the API inference or AI model inference should be attributed on chain. That's a very key point. That's I think zero G they build infrastructure to solve that type of issue. That's the reason we are looking for a partnership with zero G. Yeah.
Yeah, and tell us, because you mentioned Zero G, talk to us a little bit about some of the partnerships you guys have and how they've been helpful in pushing Codata forward.
Oh yeah. There definitely. I think there's a the partnership. I think is twofold. One fold is very certain. Another fold is more like uncertain, but it's more like a joint research. The one certain is the Zero G. I think this project is funded by very great founders. They have very good track record. They started provided data availability, and right now we are moving our data toward the Zero G to save the data as use zero G as on-chain storage. That's the one certain partnership. A second certain partnership, I think zero G they are rolling out some of the training infrastructure and inference infrastructure, and the inference infrastructure we are looking for to ensure the royalty model actually can be implemented with not just the legal documents to trust some parties. Yeah, so in long run, we have this type of partnership. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a very exciting partnership, and how you guys are working together. So, finally, where can people learn more about Codata? Where can they get involved? Like, what kind of customers are you guys looking for?
Yeah, that's everyone welcome to join our platform to learn more. Actually, our Codatta right now, the website is codatta.io is our official website. Right now, you check our website is more like a crypto focused, is account annotation, but we are rolling out our Codatta 2.0, and by the end of the next month. So But right now, some people just join our community, in Telegram community or Discord community. You can get some more exclusive per release access to our 2.0 version. You can already working on some of the data sourcing tasks like robotics. If you are a doctor, we have pathology frontier as well. So welcome to join us. And speaking on the particular clients, I think there are two types of clients. If you are data creator, all walks of life regarding your background, your geographics, welcome to join us. They already have some of data sourcing tasks you are capable to provide. Actually, the data you are providing, actually you're building a portfolio of the AI because your data can empower downstream AI. So you are kind of building that portfolio for yourself in long run. And also another type of client is more like a data demander. If you are the big techs like Alibaba or like a Snapchat or Pinterest, you are building some advanced end-to-end shopping or recommendation system, this type of thing, you can come to us. We can provide this the data sourcing and also the AI developer. If you have very tight budget but you have very good idea, come to us, launch your data sourcing. Yeah.
Absolutely. Well, everyone go get involved with Codatta. I don't know if you use Twitter or any kind of social media, but feel free to shout out any links there. But if
Okay.
not,
Yeah, I do use Twitter. I try to become more active on Twitter.
nice. And what's your username?
My username is DRTWO101.
Absolutely. Well, go get involved. Everyone go follow him, and let's go continue building the future of on-chain AI.